after hinting, after making it all about him for the entire season.
Wow.
My God. Do you like, I mean, I know he might have been trying to motivate his team or whatever, but my man Aaron Rodgers likes attention. That is just facts only. It was unrealistic to think that I would be 100% to be medically cleared at any point during the regular season. Aaron Rodgers, 2 days after the Jets were eliminated from playoff contention on returning from his Achilles injury. Brady, read between the lines.
I think this one is pretty straightforward, though. There's not much to read between the lines. But if there's anyone who pumped up the potential of Aaron Rodgers coming back, I think it was Robert Saleh, was it not? Like,
yes.
I mean, I was like, dude, like, what are we doing? Like,
he looks normal. Like, he looks normal out there.
Well, and even after the fact that he's like, man, he worked his hardest to be able to come back. And it's like, yeah, we know. Like, we don't. Like, he has his own press conference things on the Pat McAfee show
every Tuesday.
Don't know that we need other people speaking for Aaron Rodgers. Like, just listen to Aaron Rodgers and what he says. So, it's funny. Like, if there was ever, and there's times too where I feel like Aaron Rodgers almost had to address things that like Robert Saleh said that maybe took things out of context or portrayed things a certain way. And it's just weird sometimes. Like, I know Robert Saleh, the head coach, has to stand up there and answer those questions, but there's also times where I feel like he kind of stoked those flames of the comeback. And look, maybe it would have been different had they still in the playoff hunt. Although that offensive line, the way they played last week versus the Dolphins, man, like you'd be putting him at major risk for not re-tearing his Achilles, but some other injury.
Yeah. And I said this, I never thought this was going to happen. It was far-fetched. I think what Aaron Rodgers has done to this point is something we've never seen, Brady. Like a guy to be able to take drop steps and throw the football just months after tearing an Achilles has never been done before on an NFL film. So kudos to Aaron Rodgers for pushing his rehab and subsequently trying to get back. But it just never made sense because of what you said, Brady. And that's because the offensive line has been bad for the Jets. Like, people forget the week before when Zach Wilson probably had his best career game versus Texans. A lot of that was Zach Wilson getting out of the pocket, right? Because he was running for his life and playing off-platform football. Well, if Aaron Rodgers has to stay in the pocket because he doesn't have the mobility, like, does it make sense for him to come back if he can't protect himself? Because he wasn't going to get protection from the offensive line. So you talked about it, Brady. Maybe not, there isn't a injury factor in maybe re-tearing his Achilles, but there's also an injury factor of maybe him hurting something else if he goes out there behind that offensive line. So Zach Wilson got concussed Sunday after like 2 snaps because of this offensive line. You really were going to put a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers behind this line where he doesn't have his mobility that he's accustomed to having? Just never made sense to me. I think this was, I don't want to say a ploy, but it was something for the Jets defense to cling and hold on to, right? So they can continue to go out there and lay it on the line with the hopes that maybe if they're still in it in week 17 or 18, Aaron Rodgers could come back. They could write this Disney story, and make a movie out of it. But I just never saw it happening because we've never seen it before. Even with Cam Akers, right? A lot younger than Aaron Rodgers. He did it in the summer before training camp and was able to come back, I think, like week 17 of the season a few years ago when the Rams went on that run to win the Super Bowl. But again, a lot younger than Brady when he did it and when he came back. So I just never saw it happening. But again, kudos to Aaron Rodgers in regards to doing the unthinkable, right? Because for him to
making
be
the entire
football
about him,
like,
even when he only played 4 snaps.
Look at Will Hayden, Brady. Look at Will Hayden, Brady.
The Jets fully invited that. Like they there's no doubt.
They ate it up.
No, I mean, like it is his recovery is very impressive for real. Like it is, it's very impressive.
It's ridiculous what
he didn't make it back, but it's very impressive.
This could be a blessing in disguise, though, in the sense of like Rodgers will get an entire offseason now.
Yes,
to work with everyone. This is going to be an offense that's better suited to protect him, to provide him what he needs to utilize him at this point in time in his career. Like, it's torn Achilles. Like, you're not going to ever sit there and say it's a good thing from that perspective. But I think what we saw when he wasn't there was how this roster still had a number of holes.
Yeah.
And the defense is great. They can run the football at times. But now I think we get to a point where he gets an entire offseason where he gets to work with these guys. And this offense is going to be set with players that I think are better there to support him. So
Top
again,
10
don't want
pick
to
you
call
can
it-
use on offensive line too.
What's
Yeah.
that?
You have a top
Yeah.
10 pick, more than likely you can use on an offensive lineman too, which is
Yeah,
And,
that's what I'm
and
referring to.
potentially trading for Devontae Adams.
Ooh,
There's
yeah,
that
there you
still
go.
out there too, right?
Yeah.
So
All right.
there's so many things on the horizon that could be really good for the Jets in the future.